Welcome, officers. Welcome, welcome. There are moments in one's career when myth ceases to be theory and becomes diplomacy. Yesterday, at 3,000 feet above sea level within the Ural Mountains, I was summoned, not as a hunter, not as a soldier, but as a negotiator, by an assembled parliament of Yetis. If that sentence has not unsettled you, I assure you that reality will. This was not a sighting, this was not a clash, this was a governance by glacier, and what transpired there may decide whether an entire species remains legend or becomes war. The message arrived through a sequence of atmospheric pressure distortions, an archaic wind code utilized exclusively by alpine entities predating recorded cartography. Our monitoring stations classified it instantly. Yeti conclave protocol. 3 words which in our lexicon translate to one meaning: crisis. I departed within the hour, escorted until the mountain pass surrendered all warmth and logic. From the point onward, I continued alone. Yetis do not trust crowds. They interpret them as preludes to extinction. The conclave site was a cavern so vast and pristine it resembled a cathedral carved by frost itself. Pale blue crystal walls refracted ghost light across colossal shapes standing with unnerving stillness. 32 Yetis, no 2 identical, all imposing, all deliberate. At their centre stood Tolkien, elder, chieftain, and keeper of generational memory. His fur carried the silver of centuries. His eyes held the quiet of glaciers that have seen kingdoms rise and rot. "Wing Commander," he intoned, voice echoing like distant thunder within stone. "You step where hunters tread only once. This is why you breathe." I accepted his greeting with appropriate restraint and slightly above average caution. Tolkien spoke of a threat not born of fang or flame, but mapping. Human expansion had cut their ancestral roamland into segments of imaginary ownership. Their hunting patterns were collapsing, their young were weakening, their elders no longer recognized their own territory. "We were a migrating people," he said. "Now we pace like ghosts trapped in cages of law." The young Yetis growled, not in savagery, but frustration. They longed to follow instinct beyond fences unseen, and therein lay the danger. I delivered the brutal truth they needed, not the comfort they desired. If they revealed themselves to mankind, there would be no reverence, only cameras. They would be tracked, quantified, monetized, biomedicalized, studied into spiritual ruin and packaged for profit alongside plush toys made in regions that don't believe in them. Humanity does not preserve wonder, it trademarks it. The silence that followed was deep, heavy, calculating. I proposed territorial expansion through concealed government's channels, treaty manipulation, disinformation layers, environmental misdirection, the usual mechanics by which peace is achieved in our line of work. A wider sanctuary, invisible corridors, safe migration supported by illusionary shielding. Tolkien deliberated in a voice beyond human hearing, his fellows responding in seismic murmurs that made the very ice tremble. Finally, his gaze fixed upon me. "We will wait," he declared. "But if your promise fractures, we will not remain in the shadows." This was not a threat, this was prophecy. 2 adolescent Yetis guided me from the conclave through a path carved in permafrost and moonlight. Their presence was careful, respectful, but never trusting. Behind us, the sleeping strength of their civilization pulsed, quietly ancient and unseen. When I glanced back, I realized I had not just witnessed a meeting, I had witnessed an ultimatum. Should diplomacy fail, an entire cryptid tribe will spill southward. This would not be a singular incursion, it would be the displacement of a species with strength enough to rend engines and wisdom enough to mourn forests. And our world, obvious and hubristic, would respond with helicopters and guns. History suggests this would not go well. We are trained to neutralize anomalies, to catalogue horrors, to contain the impossible. But the Yetis they're not horror, they're displaced heritage. And the tragedy is not their danger, it is that we made them desperate. Officers, all reconnaissance within Ural borders is hereby restricted. Unauthorized expeditions are to be rerouted, discouraged, or mysteriously dissuaded by methods deemed appropriate and deniable. We are not guarding against monsters. We are guarding against our own negligence. The Yetis have placed their survival in our hands. Failure will not be forgiven. Winter is stirring, and if it marches south, no weapon forged by man will quiet its grief. This is Wing Commander Montgomery Fortescue, and this is a warning wrapped in snow. Thank you.